time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Welcome in. It's another weekend. It's time again for another edition of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a second, we'll talk to Blake about what's going on in the world of real estate around the Grand Strand and around the region. You're going to want to listen closely. You're going to want to maybe even take notes. If you don't take notes, if you're not a note-taking kind of person, that's okay. We've got all this information you're going to be hearing at the website that's set up exclusively for this show, BlakeSloanRadio.com. That's BlakeSloanRadio.com. And if you just want to pick up your phone and call Blake and say, what is that thing that you're talking about? I need to know more. Well, his phone number, as always, at the Sloan Realty Group is 843-808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD at the Sloan Realty Group. We've got all sorts of great information to get to in the next 30 minutes. If you didn't get that contact info I just gave you, we'll give that to you again very shortly here throughout the course of the show. Time to bring him on in, though. Let's see what's happening in the world. Blake Sloan, good morning.
What's up, everyone? Got an awesome show today. Got some really cool stuff we'll talk about. Brand new show this week. And one thing we'll talk about, most important, is new home sales, or actually, sorry, a new report of sales. So not actually new homes, but a new report of home sales, and they surged. So we'll go over that. I mean, it's huge numbers, and it's different all over the board. So we'll talk about what that means and kind of what's happening right now. But very, very surprising numbers, kind of a huge jump we saw here in our marketplace. And we'll kind of share what those numbers are, what's that mean for you, and we'll break down kind of some of the macro numbers of what that is. We'll talk about some success stories we had. We just negotiated a short sale with one of our clients. He had two mortgages, one with Chase Bank, one with Bank of America. We negotiated over $80,000 to be forgiven by the bank. That they actually, let go. It doesn't cost them anything to owe them anymore. It was actually a little over 88,000 something that we were able to negotiate. Two mortgages and a lien with Santee Cooper that we got negotiated off. Got a new buyer, and he's free and clear able to go. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. We're also talking about the average credit scores of home loans that were in August into September. We had that on the list before. We didn't have time to get to that. So I think we'll recap that. We'll also dig into, the real reasons why Americans are buying homes. And there's a study that came out recently. We've talked about this a little bit before in the past, but we'll talk about what's hot for them, why they're actually buying, and obviously as a potential home seller or even a home buyer out there, we'll talk about those reasons if that resonates with you, or potentially some buyer who may want to be buying your house.
All right, well, we've got a lot of stuff to get to. Like I said, we're just scratching the surface here on this show. A lot of time to go. And if you have not tuned into the show before, you don't know who Blake Sloan is, it's a great story. Industry leaders would call him the real estate whiz kid. He's been in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, on NBC with lots of press several times. Realtor magazine, lots of other national publications. You've heard the endorsements right here on this station from Sean Hannity and from Glenn Beck. But one of those by itself, most people would be very, very proud of. Not Blake. He wasn't satisfied until he got them all. Put them all together, and it's just kind of unprecedented in the world of real estate. Now, we always learn every week, like some of the trademark systems that you have. And again, for people who may not have listened before, or for people who have listened but really maybe not took it all in, we always want to reiterate what some of your trademark systems are and how you can help both the buyers and the sellers. So why don't you give it to us?
Absolutely, it's huge, and that's something I mentioned. I made a promise a long time ago because of situations we have with clients, and even people that are listeners to the show, who are my favorite clients to work with, obviously, because they're educated on the process and systems. But the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller or a home buyer is 100% determined by the agent that you choose, period. That's it, right? It's not the grass, it's not the wall color. It's 100% the agent that you choose. And there's really a reason behind that. Obviously, the marketing exposure, how they do that. But that's what determines your failure or success in the marketplace. And that's one thing what we did. So, for example, in the home selling process, there's 118 different variables. We reverse engineered every single one of those variable points to create maximum leverage for our clients, obviously to make sure that they have an ultimate competitive advantage in the process. So with the buyer side, we do the same thing where it's our unfair advantage home buying system. It's the only proven system to get basically buyers access to the property access before anyone else to foreclosure, distress sales, desperate sellers, and obviously negotiate. There's a proven system to negotiate through the process. And the name of the one for the sellers, our guaranteed sold system. It's the only proven system, so twice as fast and for 21% more money than traditional methods. And it's a proven step-by-step repeatable system that actually licenses out other agents in other parts of the country. We'll use it here every single time to get predictable results. And literally our homes sell about 3 times faster and for much more money than the MLS average. And the one thing that most don't even realize is that over 50% of homes fail to sell at our MLS in a lot of areas. So it's a big thing to really know. Most people don't realize, hey, look, there's a 50% chance of failure when I'm actually listing my home, and that's why a lot of people don't like real estate agents in general. So we have a proven step-by-step system that gets our clients the ultimate competitive advantage when they buy or sell.
All right, well, like I said, we got a lot of stuff to get to over the next 30 minutes, so if you're just tuning in, sit back, relax, or if you're driving, don't relax too much because you're driving. Anyway, coming up in the very near future, we're going to be talking about what's happening in the world of real estate. We've got all the latest mortgage rate information and a lot more. That's all coming up next. You are listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. If you want to get more information on this show, go online to BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com, or call Blake at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 808-SOLD. Remember, you have to put that area code in there now, 843-808-SOLD. Blake Sloan, Sloan Realty Group. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else at Myrtle Beach. It's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. Now, if you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at BlakesGuarantee.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Welcome back. It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Again, contact information to get in touch with Blake at Sloan Realty Group. It's 843-808-SOLD. 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com. Some mortgage rate information coming up in just a second, which is some of the most important numbers that you can get to on a week-to-week basis. But speaking of numbers, we've got some new updates as far as the real estate market is concerned.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's got some great news. Obviously, we've seen it improve, and everybody's coming watching. And here's one thing I hear all the time. It's like, oh, Blake, is it getting to the fall? Should we just wait to the spring, And I'm telling you, right now it's really hot. It's a different type of buyer. So we've had obviously a big team working with buyers and sellers. So the one of the things that we're kind of run into is basically the people coming in town now or they're more basically, they don't have as many kids, obviously because the kids are in school. So we're seeing a lot different. So check these numbers out. Closed sales increased 6.9% for single family homes, 8.3% for condos, right? Okay, here's the big number, because those are the ones that actually closed. So that's like 45 days, 60 days ago. Here's the biggest thing we run into, pending sales. Pending sales increased 17.9% in single-family homes. So that's how many people went under contract in that period. So, and this is basically showing September. Obviously, we're getting numbers in about the 10th of the month, but that's September this year versus September last year. It's up 17.9% pending, which is huge. 19.6% for condos. So obviously that's a huge increase in regards to demand. We're going to see more closed sales, and obviously that's a huge, hit into the inventory because check this out. The supply actually decreased 19.3% for single-family homes, and supply decreased 20.4% for condos. So what's that mean? That means prices are going up like crazy, and that means there's less inventory. People are scooping up things like crazy. We just got this past week, in one day, we had an offer on one of our $1.2 million oceanfront houses, offer on $77,000 condo, offer on $150,000 houses, offer on $300,000 houses, and that's kind of within a certain day. And the rest of the days that we get to certain offers, but one day, I think Thursday or Friday, we had 5 offers that came in just on those that are just massively you can just tell that you can feel in regards to the amount of people not just showing properties but also buying that there. So other parts here, median sales price of 7.5% to $202,000 for single-family homes, up 2.6% for condos, up to $120,000. So great news. So that's really good. And obviously they break that in regards to the amount of year-to-date versus month. We'll kind of cover that a little bit too. Inventory, like I said, was down significantly at 19.3% for supply total. The 12-month period from October last year through September 2015, obviously 12 months total, the entire MLS sales were up 12.9%. That combines both condos and homes, but you can see obviously from the numbers, the homes are one of the hottest parts, right? So that's what we use as a barometer. That's really good for the marketplace here because we can see who's moving in, who's buying actually houses. We can really dictate kind of what's going on by just looking at those numbers. One thing that's really interesting to look at, the price range of the largest gain in sales was from $200,000 to $300,000 price range. Check it out. Sales were up 24.5%. I mean, huge. I mean, that's a massive. That's double digits really that you're seeing there. And so the overall median sales price was up 6% to $161,000. That's the numbers combined of median sale price of $202 for houses, $120 for condos, and you're seeing a 7.5 increase for homes, 2.6 increase in condos. And remember, condos had a lag in sales a couple months ago, but inventory kept going down. So you've seen both those creep up continuously. Obviously, the one biggest segment we saw in gains were single-family homes, which is good for most homeowners out there. Most of our listeners, single-family listeners, obviously, people who live here in town or traveling in town. So that's one thing. The one thing that's obviously selling the quickest was price range $150,000 to $200,000. Those are going, 144 days on average. But that's kind of one thing that we're seeing. Price range, the slowest, $300,000 above, probably about 200 days on market. So we're seeing that stay there because obviously there's less buyers in that price range. Anything in that 150 range is selling like hotcakes because there's not hardly inventory, right? So one of those things that we really kind of lead into. And the one thing that's interesting to watch here, that property type, basically the inventory for single-family homes is down significantly. So what's that mean for price? It's going to be going up, right? So we can obviously see that where in some areas the percent of list price received is up to 96.7%. So on average, you have a $100,000 house there. It's selling for 700. So really interesting stuff there to see. Like, for example, the new pending sales that came in were up 653 month versus month. So that's huge in our marketplace. Our marketplace is fairly small, so it's huge numbers there to look at. What's that mean? It means there's less inventory. If you're thinking about selling, call me. 843-808 sold. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till Thursday to Google me and then submit to the website. Just call right now. 843-808 sold. Pull over. Stop. Because we have so many people, I can't tell you week after week after week, and we obviously track all this through our CRM system, our customer relationship management system. There's people who maybe that weren't quite ready a year ago, and we talk to them, we send information because there's never any pressure, right? So they call in, we talk to them, send info, they end up listening with a friend, they come back with us, they're frustrated, it didn't work. Hey, man, we so wish we'd come to you 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
We so wish we'd come to you 2 years ago. I've had all this stuff that's pretty much come back that was, people regretted that. Just wait. Just if you have somebody thinking about selling, right, have them call me. If you're thinking about selling yourself, you can go to our website to get your evaluation instantly on the side there. And just call us, 843-808-SOLD if you want for sure. One of the things obviously fueling these sales is interest rates. If you want me to kind of go into that.
Well, before we get to that, I mean, it's never too late to call Blake at Sloan Realty Group, but instead of wasting all that time, then having somebody else do it, just do it first.
I thought about just dragging some of the people in here with me on the weekends that say that. I mean, I'm not kidding you. People just think you're saying that, but I'm talking every single week. There's people that I meet with in our conference room that say, Blake, I'm so sorry. I wish we would have called you before. We listened to your show. We were going with our friend. And I if I could figure that out as a marketer or figure that out as a business owner, man, I would. That's why I'm just going to keep saying on here, call me. Don't wait. Don't go with a friend or a friend or a friend who's selling real estate part-time, you know what I mean, or whatever it may be, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And what homeowners don't realize, you're leaving $5,000 or tens of thousands of dollars on the table. You don't even know it. So what happens, you think, all right, then we got it sold, but that does not mean you sold it for the most amount of money, right? So you're going to that next home. You don't know that you may have left $10,000 on the table. That money is very, very, powerful for you to be able to use in your next buy, or obviously do something else with it. But it's very, very important to do that. And same thing we just had. Here we go. Another example. This past week, had a guy who we spoke with months ago. He moved to Greenville, and he has a house in Longs. And he was going to list, but he ended up going with a friend. That's okay, and he listed with a friend for 6 months, didn't sell.
Right.
Add another 3 months to it, and was not sold. right? So finally talked back and forth, talked on the phone, went through our system again, explained it. He said, let's do it. Boom, had an offer in 2 days, right at asking price on it, right? It's just, it has to do with the exposure, the systems we have, mental buyers. There's a massive, pool of people out there we're able to expose it to. And that's one thing I guess I can kind of mention. There's about, usually I don't have the most update numbers here but last month's reports, there's 2 separate reports that come out. One has inventory and stuff, but long story short, there's about 5,300 homes in the market last month.
Right.
Houses. So if buyers are searching, they're searching your area, let's say Sockasee, there's hundreds and hundreds of homes that match there, and they're not even seeing your property a lot of times. We always joke, I mentioned this before, the #1 place to hide a dead body, page 2 of Google.
Right.
Same thing on home search, right? People are searching, they don't have time, they're on their mobile phones, they're on the go, they're not looking through hundreds and hundreds of homes. So if yours does not have the right placement, the right exposure, it's just sitting there. And that's the one thing that we do it week after week after week. People who could not get it sold, that failed, came to us, were able to get it sold because of the systems that we have now. Are we magicians? Can we sell everything? Not unless it's priced right. Anything we don't have that's not selling, the price is not where it needs to be, and we're continually trying to find that fine tune with our sellers what that may be. So if you know somebody's selling, if you're here somebody you over here having a conversation about selling, just say call 808 sold, the best, hands down, and we'll be able to show example after example. And anybody that's a potential client with us, we send you a private link that has videos of our past clients saying, hey, look, we couldn't get our property sold for 2 years. We came to Blake, got it sold in 2 weeks. And it's just basically testimonial after testimonial of people who is not, an experiment at this point. It happens every single week. So if you know somebody thinking about selling, just call us 843-808-SOLD and call us as soon as possible.
Well, it is a numbers game, and coming up in just a few minutes, we'll let you know how many active buyers are actually looking on Blake's website to try to buy houses in this area. But speaking of numbers, the most important numbers are the mortgage rates. And
Yep.
I know they've got new stuff on that too.
That's what fuels it, right? So we always talk about the #1 mismanaged variable in the home buying process, interest rate. Everybody worries about price, trying to save a few $1,000s, but what happens is they'll leave a ton of money on the table they got to pay over the life of the loan. So check it out. New rates are ridiculously low. 30-year fixed rate right now, 3.84%. And that's huge. The 52-week low is at 3.55. The 52-week high is at 4.2%. So that's something just to kind of make sure that, anybody's thinking about selling out there. Obviously, rates have dipped back down. There's a bunch of reasons for that. We could do a whole show on that. But long story short, they're very, very low. 15-year fixed rate, 3.10%. FHA 30-year loan is 3.50%, and a 5-year adjustable rate 2.91%. So the one thing too, I think I'll talk about jumbo, 3.61%. That's why you're seeing a huge increase on some of the higher end homes that are moved that weren't getting sold before. If you had a high end home that you had on the market, or you had a friend that had a home on the market didn't sell, that stuff's selling now because there's so many more buyers in the marketplace, right? So if you took it on the market, got frustrated, call me. 808 sold. Seriously. That's the one thing that's a big, big difference here. Rates, I think, last week were 3.98, so you can see a significant jump kind of where we're at now. So great opportunity for buyers out there. We still have a ton of great deals. Deals are going quickly, so it's important whoever you use on the buy side that they know what they're doing. They're trained experts. With our team, the buyer's agents only do buyers. So all day, every day, they're studying inventory, studying what we have out here. Just like a really good stockbroker, they're studying the game, and they're making sure they can find the best deals to give to our clients. A lot of the best deals will sell before they ever hit the market. So it's important to have it in there so you can be able to share that with them, and they can share that with you to be able to get access to those.
All right, well, coming up in just a minute, we've got the Hot Buyers Alert. We've also got some great information, including why Americans actually buy homes, the real reasons behind that. A lot of stuff still to come as you're listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. If you want to get in touch with Blake, you can call him at 808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go onto the website BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com. This is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hello, Myrtle Beach. It's Glenn Beck. And if you need to sell your property, you don't have to experience all the headaches and long nights that I had to experience when I finally sold my home in Connecticut. Because you have a celebrity right in your backyard, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group, that guarantees to sell your property.
Be like 19 something?
Yeah, it'd be at about 20 when we're done with this break, so
Okay.
we've got about 10 minutes left.
Okay, so I was kind of taking that longer just because that's a little more important, and you know what I mean. So we'll just hit those, and I'll hit that story, and then we'll just jump into. We can do the reason why people buy homes if you want.
Well, whatever you have time for, and whatever you want to get to.
Okay, well, we can go. We can hit the credit score really quick, and then hop into the homes if we have time.
He's the real estate agent I wish I could have called, Blake Sloan. Call him now at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website and see his interview on NBC. That's Blake'sGuarantee.com. Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group.
It is the the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan from Sloan Realty Group. Again, the phone number is 843-808-SOLD, like you had Glenn back just talked about. 808-SOLD, the phone number. You can also go to BlakeSloanRadio.com. Time for this week's Hot Buyer Alert. Blake and his team working with just a huge amount of home buyers looking for homes in the range between $150 to $3.5 million. If you think of the selling, don't go anywhere else. Contact Blake Sloan immediately at 843-808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD for the phone number. And we talked about earlier about the fact that it's a numbers game. We've been trying to break the 5,000 plateau mark on our Facebook page here at the radio station for months, and we can't even get to 5,000. Blake on his website has over 17,000 people actively looking in the Myrtle Beach area to try to buy a new home, a second home, whatever they're looking for. The actual number is 17,453 as of this morning. And those are people who are on this website, not just once every month looking. They're like daily or several times daily.
Absolutely. It's like I said, these are people who have their own account with their name, email, password. They're coming continuously. Right now, Lois Poole on there from Lake Murray, Florida. She's been on the site, 40 different visits, looked at 92 different properties. Average sale price that she's looking at is $513,000. Beatrice from Columbia, she's been searched 19 times. We got Scott Holmes 40 times on here visits. Bonnie LaRusso, 62 visits, $322,000 average sale price. Terry and Barb here from Pennsylvania, $130,000 price. Been here 160 visits. So we have some all over the place. Grace Johnson from Charlotte, North Carolina, $365 average sale price. 7 visits. She's only been here within 24 hours. So this shows you the amount of people who are coming here continuously. It's a really, really, really important thing to make sure that we have a massive amount of buyers. So how are we able to have this many buyers is our business model, right? Have 7 buyers agents all day long, every day. All they're doing is follow up buyers, making sure that they're basically following up with them to sell these houses. So what would that mean? We need inventory, right? If you're thinking about selling, we have the buyers. So how am I able to outperform the average agent here? Is basically I spend $10,000 a month driving traffic to this site here. How do we have 17,000 buyers? Spend lots and lots of dollars. If I'm a single agent by myself, spend that amount of money to drive traffic to a website, I'd be out of business, right? So the business model we have, our agents take those buyers, obviously show them and share our listings we have. They get paid more if they sell our listings, obviously, so they want to make sure they're going to share them on a personal level with them and get those things sold. And that's something we do all the time, but our business model is really, really powerful in regards to how it helps us and kind of what it does. So that's something that's really, really interesting. That really helps. The other thing, too, is that we do is we're able to invest a lot in radio, TV, things like that. So the bottom line is, if you're thinking about selling, we have a massive amount of buyers. I want to share that because it's that important, right? Our team all day long, every day is matching up the buyers they have with the sellers that we have. Obviously, that's our job from a business standpoint. What do 99% of real estate agents do? They listen to the MLS, and they put it in there and pray someone else brings a buyer. Then to survive, they go hunt the next listing, put it in MLS, and they go hunt the next listing, put that in MLS, and guess what? They have a 50% success rate on average, and that's why a lot of people hate agents. But what it is, it's an antiquated business model. Their business model is old school. It does not work. We're like an iPad 2 from a business model standpoint. If I could draw it out where you guys could see it, you understand. Me as team leader, 7 buyers agents, have no listing partner, 3 full-time admin staff to help run the machine from the listing standpoint. That's a big, big difference that really helps out from that standpoint. And if you want to kind of go to the new topic that we have that really helps, is basically a success story we just had.
Sure.
One of our clients, he had 3 condos that he had, obviously investment properties. He ended up moving in one of those. We sold all 3 in short sales. The last 2 we did basically a year and a half ago. This last one he was keeping for himself. He had to move, got transferred to California. He had 2 liens in the property, over $88,000 that he was negative in equity. Right? We sold it, negotiated with both Bank of America and Chase. And Bank of America held the first mortgage. Chase held the second mortgage. Our negotiation team basically have a loss mitigation company that helps do that I own, that we work with. We have basically over a 94% success rate in getting these done. Average in MLS is about 15%. So there's not as many of these anymore, but people out there in that situation, we see it all the time. If you know someone who's struggling, know someone who needs to get out, have them call us, have them reach out to me. And we can help them. But this guy had an extra lien on top of that from Santee Cooper, where he basically, I guess, they give you a loan for the new AC or whatever it is. We negotiated all 3 of those down. They basically wiped out $88,000 worth of money he owed, and now he's free and clear to go to the next one. So very, very valuable information. There's very, very valuable tools that we have. That's in addition to getting the stuff sold that we do all the time, pretty much every day.
All right. Well, we got some great stuff to get into now. I mean, I know you've got a lot of other interesting information. We've got about 5 minutes left of the show. What else is on top
We'll
of your mind?
burn through it. One thing we didn't get to before is kind of average credit score, right? It's lower now as interest rates have crept up and then went back down. But I just want to cover that because that's something that's interesting to kind of look at where, let's say back earlier this year, January, February, average FICO score is like 732. Then it kind of went down a little bit to March. It dipped in April, jumped back up in May, but now at the end of August, the average FICO score is 724. Check it out. Average FHA 689. And a VA average credit score is 708. Now, that can be done with less than that. Obviously, that's just an average there, but it's important there to kind of know that average interest rate they got during that period, 4.13. That's national. And the one thing that's interesting to kind of look at, the average 30-year rate for all loans closed in August were at 4.3%, and that's kind of a good thing. But the one thing we're looking at is these FICO scores have been creeping down. So a lot of people always think that it's unattainable to buy a house. They think I need 20% down, which is, and we talked about this in the past, some national surveys, nearly 50% of the people thought they needed 20% down. Not the case. You can get a little, it's 3% down, right? There's even programs in South Carolina for less than that, where you can get assistance from basically South Carolina state housing. So that's kind of one thing. Last couple minutes, if you want to jump in really quick, the real reasons why Americans buy homes.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
It helps us reverse engineer the psychology of why people want to buy homes, right? It's important there. Home ownership is still important to a lot of people. The emotional reasons are really much more important than the compelling reasons based on the national stats here. So number one, it means having a good place to raise your children and provide them a good education, right? They're able to be secured in the neighborhood they want to. I had some person on Facebook recently, they were looking for a place to rent because their rental ran out. And they want to keep their kids in the same school district. So imagine that your kids in a switch school districts because you couldn't find a place to rent, in that. So it's really important to have that stability as a family for kids. Number two, physical structure where you and your family feel safe, right? Is that way it's not a surprise where you call home is comfort, and that's the number two reason people are doing that. Three, allows you to have more space for your family, right? Whether it's expanding, you can do your own improvements, things like that. That's just number four. Gives you control over what you do with your living space, like renovations, updates, paint colors. You don't have to get approval from the landlord to be able to paint the walls, right? Or have to wait for them to do new carpet, things like that. And number five, owning a home is a good way to build up wealth and pass along to family. We did that in a separate show.
Right.
Massive difference between home ownership, the wealth of people who own houses and the people who don't own houses after a 10 to 15 year period.
Well, in the last minute we have here, I know that you're also looking for people, as always, to try to join your team and just get, bask in your success.
Yes, I have too many leads. So, yes, we need people. Anybody thinking about anything about selling, thinking about getting into a really good career, we have an amazing team. So, we're hiring. If you're thinking about getting to a great career that pushes you, that expands you, where you want to over-deliver to clients and basically live a four-dimensional life where you have success in your business, relationships, your body, spirituality, we kind of focus on that. So, reach out to me if you're thinking about it. We're hiring talented people to join our team. That's my biggest challenge, is finding talent here to follow up with all the massive leads that we have.
And you could just go to the same phone number that we've been telling you about. That's 1-843-808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. If you want more information about what Blake's been talking about in the last 30 minutes, go to BlakeSloanRadio.com. And if you have to email us, you can ask at BlakeSloanRadio.com. However you want to do it, get in touch with him. Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. That's it for this week. Blake, thanks for everything. We'll see you again next week.
Absolutely looking forward to it.
All right, fantastic. You have been listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly what